9
They
Turnpike.
gotta tell us
I
what's
know
new, I
on this
guess.
one here too.
Oh,
On
Stonegate, we're not doing
7.
that.
the CEIOD applicability discussion, 248. Yeah, we're just discussing it. All right, so now being 7 p.m., we're going to start the planning board meeting for Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 3818, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. Welcome to the planning board meeting for Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. This meeting is being televised by Chelmsford Telemedia and is being conducted remotely, partially remotely. If you need to call into the meeting, the number is 929-205-6099. You can also get that on the agenda on the town's website. So first, we're going to start off at the CEIOD applicability discussion for 248 Princeton Street. Is the applicant here?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chair. Attorney Melissa Robbins from DeShane and Farrell on behalf of the owner, Mike Lenzi, and the applicant, Page and Trahan Companies. I appreciate the board having a discussion with me this evening. As you know, we already have applicability for this project, and we're getting ready to go to full design. We'd like to have a general discussion with the board, as a lot of the comments on that CEIOD applicability were regarding density and scale of the project. Obviously, I know this is non-binding and this is just a general discussion, but I'm just trying to figure out what the priorities of the board are. Right now, our proposal is to build the affordable housing units. Colleen, will you put up the Whitnam and Bigham plan showing what the CEIOD discussion was?
The colored one?
No, the other one.
Oh,
The
okay.
black and white one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So the board had reviewed a plan of 12 units. Obviously, we don't get into a final density discussion until special permit time. But the 12-unit plan assumed that we could get 10 base units based on our floor area ratio for the underlying density. This is the plan that the board had looked at. When we have 10 units of underlying density, we have to build, under inclusionary zoning bylaw, 25% of the units must be affordable. And for this project, that means 2.5. In accordance with the bylaw, we round up, which means 3. So that means 3 of the 10 must be affordable. And then if we meet those requirements and the board finds we meet other requirements, they can give us a 20% density on units. And that's how we get to 12. So assuming a full build out here, we would have 12 total units with 3 affordable units. Okay, and again, during the CEIOD process, we're proposing to actually build the affordable units as part of the project. As we were going to full design and looking back at the comments of the board, I started questioning on whether or not with this development and with other developments, I guess, if the board would be more inclined and where their priorities were as to actual construction of the affordable units. If the board would prefer, in lieu of us building these affordable units, that we go forward with a negotiation on a pilot discussion. Now, I know that we aren't talking about development at this point, but theoretically what that means is that we could go back down to the 10 units. And Colleen, can we just see that other plan?
Sure.
And I had the engineer prepare a conceptual just showing what that could look like. It would keep, it may keep that 6-unit building along the Walter Weedy Street, and then we could split the remainder of the units in a duplex along Princeton Street, which would break up the scaling and density. Again, and I don't want to have a discussion with the board tonight specifically about this layout or this design. Really, I just want to have a discussion with the board about their priority with either building the affordable units as part of this project, which would obviously lead to a denser development, or going forward with a negotiation with payment in lieu of. So if the board wouldn't mind just giving me their general feedback about their feelings on the construction of the affordable units versus going forward with a pilot, I would appreciate it.
Okay, Glenn, do you want to start?
Sure. So you're saying you'll go with this, with the colored version here, if we reduce the payment in lieu of, am I gathering that correctly?
No.
Affordable.
The project right now, the 12 units, is assuming we're gonna actually build affordable units here. I know we haven't on many of the other developments, but what we would actually have is 9 market rate units and 3 affordable units within this development actually constructed. My question to the board is the priority of this board to actually still construct affordable units, especially where the town of Chelmsford is in their affordable housing inventory and safe harbor? Or would the board be more inclined for us to not build the affordable units and instead go forward with a less dense project and proceed with a payment in lieu of negotiation and discussion with the board?
Okay.
That's my question.
Melissa, would those payment in lieu, would that be 3 units, 2 units? What do you
Yep.
think? 3 units?
Any way we cut it, if the board finds that our base number is 10 based on the underlying floor area ratio for this development, we would have to base it on 3 units, because that's it's 25% of the 10 rounded up to the closest whole number, which would be 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I don't think that my client would, or any person has paid the full number under the town of Chelmsford zoning bylaws. Obviously, there'd be a negotiation there, which would come up during the special permit process. But
Your
this
client doesn't want to be a first, Melissa?
not in this one, not in this regard. So I think, I'm just trying to figure out from the board, is it still the priority of this board to build affordable units? Or is it, is the priority somewhat changing where the affordable units don't necessarily need to be constructed, and perhaps for this project, we start looking at a payment in lieu of and not designing out that full 12-unit development?
Evan, correct me, but that pilot would go into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
You want to go, Glenn, or you?
Yeah, I think the way it's been going so far, most of them have been doing the payment in lieu of instead of actually building them out. So that the density size on this project, I know it fits and everything, but I like this one much better. I think it, just my personal belief is I would lean towards giving you a break on the payment in lieu of by going with the smaller of the project to kind of make it fit better in that neighborhood. That's my thought.
Okay. Nan?
Yep, I'm here. First off, I don't think the planning board's the one that really has the preference in terms of build out versus silo. I think that's really a question of Dave Henderson's needs and plans, because we rely on recommendations from him in that regard. So I don't have a preference one way or another as to whether you do a build out or whether you do a pilo. I do believe that even though we've hit our 10% legal limit, our safe harbor limit, we certainly have a need in Chelmsford for housing that is affordable to our staff people, and we don't have enough of it. We have a massive backlog for that housing. So it's not a matter of do we not need it anymore, it's a question of how do we achieve it going forward. From a layout standpoint, I think the 10 units is a better fit in the neighborhood. You've got the other duplexes and townhouses just down the road from it, so it's really more compatible looking with the neighborhood, and it might settle out some of the neighbors' concerns, because there, as you know, there are neighbor concerns over that property. So that was not a yes or no answer, but there's my thoughts.
Thanks, Nan. Mike Raisbeck?
There's my unmute button. I don't have a preference one way or another. I think the bylaw was set up to go either way for a reason. I think it's choice of the applicant.
Okay, Don?
Yeah, sure, I'm okay with 10 units. I agree with Nan that I think it's more palatable for the abutters. As long as there's a PILO contribution, there's no problem with me.
Okay, Hank?
Yeah, myself, I'd rather have the PILO with the less density, so I'd lean that way.
Okay, Mike?
I would tend to agree. I think the biggest issue that I had early on was the size of the density in that neighborhood. I don't necessarily agree. I know there's one further down the street, but you do not see the two, and it's not like it's right next door. So, I mean, I personally don't think that this fits in the neighborhood, but if lesser of two evils, I think I'd like to go with I would prefer to go with the 10 unit.
All right, and I agree with pretty much the rest of the board. I think the 10 unit would fit better. So I think you've got a pretty good answer from us.
Yes, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the board just taking up this general discussion. I mean, obviously, this is non-binding. I just was hoping to have some feedback for the board before we went to full design, and I appreciate the board's time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we don't need to do anything with that, right? We're all set?
No, we should, let's,
Okay. Next up, we will go to 9 Turnpike. Mike, do you want to, is there anything on that?
There's no new letters on that. I don't have anything. It's a continuation of the public hearing, still open.
Okay.
Mike, I left one letter from Dan.
Okay.
You got it over there?
I was gonna say, there should be one from the fire department, because they made a determination on the road.
No. You got a letter there?
I have one. It just says the fire prevention office has reviewed the updated plan and appears to sufficiently meet departmental requests. Thank you, D. Kachufis. I don't know. There's another at the bottom. Has engineering and fire prevention had a chance to review revised plans and submit a new letterhead if needed? That was from Evan. So is that the letter you're talking about, Colleen? It just says the fire prevention office has reviewed it, the updated plan, and it appears to sufficiently meet departmental requests.
Yes, and Dan's only other comment was that his other letter is in full effect.
Okay, so it appears to meet everything. That's good. All right, so we're going to be with 9 Turnpike Road. Joseph Reddy for a 5-lot definitive subdivision located at 9 Turnpike Road. The applicant requests definitive subdivision approval and applicable waivers under the subdivision control law and the rules and regulations governing the subdivision of land in the town of Chelmsford. The project calls for the construction of a new dead-end roadway and construction of 5 duplexes on 5 new lots. The site is located in the RC Residential 2-Family Zoning District. The site is approximately 3.037 acres as shown in the Assessor's Map 74, Block 324, Lot 5. Is the applicant here?
Yes,
Ready?
good evening. For the record, my name is Philip Iliopoulos. I'm an attorney here in Chelmsford at 9 North Road. And just to be sort of brief, at our last meeting, we got some feedback from the board regarding some of the waivers that we had been requesting as part of the project, revolving around sidewalks, lighting, and curbing. And there was pros and cons. I think, some people were more passionate about some of, one versus the other. But what we decided to do just to simplify the application and to try to satisfy as many of the members as we could we have incorporated into the project sidewalks on one side, as the board had suggested, granite curbing, as well as now some street lighting. So the only waivers that we're seeking at this point is regarding the turnaround, which I know the fire department had reviewed our plan again and is comfortable with that in terms of fire prevention. And then just a simple waiver of the drawing instead of 1x40, accepting the 1x30, which I think was a preference of the town engineer. So those would be the only two waivers at this point that we would be seeking. The rest we would just build in accordance with town requirements.
Okay.
That's really all I have.
So do we, anybody from the public? Colleen?
Nobody I see yet.
How about any board members?
You want to just run around the board? I'll
Yeah,
start
sure.
off if you want.
Yep.
I think I'm fine with everything that they've done here. They've put on all the stuff that we asked for. I think it's gonna be a nice little project, to be honest with you. Looks really nice, so. I think we could just move forward with it and send them on their way.
All right, Nan?
No issues.
Mike Raisback?
I'm just fine with it as is. I'm ready to go.
Don?
Yeah, so Philip, was this your intention to make it this easy for us?
I'm trying to make your life as simple. Get you guys out early tonight.
Yeah, right, thanks for listening. I have no problems.
My pleasure.
All right, Hank?
I'm good with it.
Mike?
So just a couple clarifications.
Please.
Just on the revised drawings, if you've met on the front cover, you need to take off the waivers requested, if you've met them, Phil. So, the question, where is the lighting located? I haven't seen it on the drawings.
Pat, do you mind
Is it, am I missing it?
handling that one technical question?
Yes, it's hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. As you look at the road and you go up the road, just as the bulb starts on the right-hand side, we put in a street light there. There's going to be a green area there, so it looks as though it'll fit in.
Oh, yeah, I see. You see it?
Can you look up there? It's probably small.
Oh, I see a street sign.
It's a street light
Street light.
in front of lot 5.
Oh, okay, lot 5. Oh, I see it, yep. And then the other question I have is, the granite curbing is ending at lot 5? Is it not going around the cul-de-sac due to the turnaround, or?
Right, due to the turnaround, just so there's no risk that the fire truck could potentially hit the curbing as it's doing that one, sort of roundabout. We had it just going up to the end of the street, but stopping where the 3 driveways converge at the turnaround.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay, so I just had does this plan, is there any visitor parking at all on this street, or any spots designated for visitor?
No, each person would have parking within their own premises, both garage parking, as well as some off-street driveway parking, but not on the street.
So there'll be 0 on-street parking?
Correct.
Okay, and what about snow? Any spots for snow set up on this street, or?
Yeah, so the sidewalks will only be on one side, so there'll be certainly snow available on the other side. There'll be certain areas, it's going to be a set up like a condominium, so there will be common maintenance, and there'll be a common plowing and landscaping for that area.
Okay, all right, great. That's all I have.
Check for the public one more time and then.
Yeah, Colleen, can you want to check for anybody from the public, have anything?
I still don't see anybody typing in.
All right, would you take a motion to close the public hearing?
I would. Motion.
Got it.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Give you a motion to approve the project as submitted. with all the
Second.
changes.
Second.
Second by Mike Raisback. All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Aye. That's it. We're all set. Unanimous.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Joe appreciates it as well. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
All right, take care.
Bye. All right, the next up, we have, so we have to do a request for Stonegate Construction to continue to October 28th. Do we need to do anything with that, a motion or,
Okay, we just make a motion to continue. I'll give you a motion to continue.
second
Second.
by Hank? All in favor?
Right?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and then we're on to 1 Billerica Road. Oh, wait, no, that's, what else do we have then?
That's it, just
New-
minutes.
Minutes.
Oh, you have new business there.
New
Where's the
business.
New business.
Oh, yeah, town meeting.
All right, town meeting update and recommendations. Colleen?
Yeah, I wanted to, thank you, Tim. I wanted to, ask the board if they would be, agreeable to a friendly amendment that I'm planning on a town meeting on Monday. And my request would be that the rear lot be taken out, in its entirety. Although, I did speak with Henry and I told him what I was gonna do, and he suggested a compromise, which I am open to. And just out of his mouth came the 60,000, and I thought that was, a better amount of land. So that would be my compromise, excuse me, 60,000 unless anybody else has something to say. But, I'd like this to go through as a friendly amendment, just because, you know, then we can just go ahead and vote on it. I'll submit it right as the article gets opened. And if it's a friendly amendment, the town meeting reps don't have to vote on it. But that's, you know, up for discussion. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys tonight.
So, I'll go around the board, and if you guys want, and make a comment, so start with Glenn.
Yeah, just, so we were going from
I wish we had it.
80,000 down to 40,000, and now back up to 60,000, correct?
That's what I'm hoping for, unless you have a different compromise that,
No.
you know, the 40,000 I just really feel is too small.
May I make a comment here?
Sure.
Are we currently in public hearing?
No, this is just you don't have to take a vote or anything. This is just a conversation.
Well, yeah, the reason I asked is because I'm not entirely sure it's appropriate for us to be taking this commentary if we're not in a public hearing scenario.
I'll defer
That's
to
not the question. I'll leave that to the.
Yep. I'll leave that to Evan. Evan? Is it?
I mean, the original reason this was on the agenda was for Nan to provide an update to the board on her ongoings over the last month or so. I also wanted to bring to the board's attention that the Article 5 is the first deposits into the Affordable Housing Stabilization Fund, which is your PILO. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. And then the town manager over the last couple of weeks has been sending out reminders to the board that there are a variety of other articles, particularly for the planning board, the 2 articles related to the sewer capacity that will likely be of interest to the board at town meeting floor. So that was the intent of the agenda item. You know, I would suggest that under this agenda item, at the chair's discretion, while it's not a public hearing, certainly the board can entertain general discussions related to the articles that you've made recommendations on. And I think that's what Colleen is trying to engage with the board on.
All right.
Okay, so,
I'm trying to be forward, you know, mostly I'm trying to be forward. I don't want to blindside anybody at town meeting.
okay, Nan, do you have any comments?
So we have very few properties that qualify for this bylaw at all. And there are 3 properties that would specifically get disqualified if this amendment were to take place. They include 55 Spalding Road, 10 Worthen Street, and 47 Boston Road. I'm not positive, but I believe 47 Boston Road currently has a what's the name of them?
Demolition.
The 1 year moratorium on tearing it down that it has been requested. So if this goes through, that property goes away. And it is, I believe, one of Billy's properties. So
Billy who?
I have considerable concern about accepting this change.
Yeah.
And I would like to remind the board that, Billy guy did write the bylaw. And I would like to comment on the other two properties that she's talking about. I did look at 10 Worthen, and I did look at, I think she said it was 55 Spalding.
That's correct.
So I did look at both of them, and neither one of them are in danger. One's owned by a Loisel, and the other one is, the way the house is laid out, it's right smack in the middle of the land. So neither one of those would use this. So to pass a bylaw that is for one property only, I just, that can be used, and then later, it's a slippery slope when you start. That's why I was okay with the 60,000. If there's something that, they could do with a larger back lot, I'd be willing to amend my proposal.
About Dawn, do you have any comments?
No, I don't have any comments.
Hank?
I got nothing.
Mike?
No comments.
Well, why is this being brought up now? Like, why didn't we talk about this when we were putting this together? Like,
Well, honestly, I didn't want to, being, an admin for the board, I didn't want to insert myself at the time. And I had been speaking to Evan about it, and, so I sort of went the way of, I can address it at town meeting. And I will offer up this amendment. The reason I wanted to talk to you was, number one, to let you be aware, and number two, to hopefully make it a conversation that we can come to an agreement on and have a friendly amendment. If that's not the case, then, I'm fine with that too.
could we just take a poll from the board, maybe just like and how you guys want to move?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm stuck in the chair tonight, so I wish Henry was here because it'd be a little different, but how do you guys feel about it?
I think it should stay with the 40,000. I think the whole intent of the thing was to be able to save properties. Now you're gonna lose one, which happens to be the oldest house in the town of Chelmsford, which also happens to be a hot tomato or hot tamale, whatever you wanna call it, within, because you know what's gonna happen
Yeah,
if it gets brought up, especially by you, Colleen.
that's where I feel.
It's gonna open a can of worms.
Yeah.
I'm a town meeting rep, and I have every right to.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, you know as well as I know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I have to agree with that too. I think we're just kind of stirring the pot with, that's why I think it should have been brought up. I mean, Nan, how do you feel about it? Do you want, yes or no on it?
Adamantly no.
Okay, Mike, raise back?
I'm pretty much no. I thought it was reasonable as we drafted it.
Okay. Dawn's a no? Did you say?
Actually, yeah, but I hear what Colleen's saying, and I may possibly agree with her. However, I'm not sure it's up to the planning board to bring it forward.
Okay. Hank?
I agree with Dawn. I think just bring it to town meeting if that's
Okay.
what you want.
Mike?
I agree with Dawn.
All right, so I think we're all on the same page that unfortunately we would leave it as is, Colleen, for now, and just have to go another route.
And that's fine by me. I just wanted you all to be aware of what I was planning.
Well, thanks for all
I just had another question for Nancy. Now, Nancy, in the rear lot, the section that you have in that bylaw, only changes the, area from 80 to 40. Is that correct?
That's not true.
What else does it do?
Changes your frontage. Oh, yeah, it only changes the area.
Right, for the.
Yeah, for back lots, it only changes the area.
Okay, and, so the 40,000 is like a regular lot. I'm just wanted to
The
clarify.
40,000 is like a regular lot in RB, except that it has a pipe stem driveway.
Okay, so part of your bylaw, I went back to the rear lot bylaw today, and it's all, rear lots are only allowed in RA and RB. So
Okay?
one of them, so that's why
And all of the properties that are applicable to this bylaw are in RB.
okay.
All right,
That's what I wanted to know. Thank you very much. I
all right,
appreciate-
thank you very much, appreciate it. So, next, we're on to minutes. Is everybody all set with the minutes from 7/22/20?
Yep, I'll give you a motion to accept the minutes of 7/22/20.
All in favor?
Second.
Second, I heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, the
Aye.
meeting minutes from 8/12/2020.
Give you a motion for the 8/12/2020.
Second.
Second by Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, the next meeting is scheduled for October 28th?
Ted, before we close out this evening, Evan, was there an update on sewer?
There is no new update. I brought to your attention the two articles that are on Monday night's town meeting.
Yeah.
So again, I encourage the board to review those. I would further encourage the board members who are town meeting members to review the FinCom and Board of Selectmen meetings over the last month. And I think we expect there to be some healthy and robust conversation on these articles. There's nothing new to report.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you, Evan. Motion?
Give you a motion to close,
Second by Mike Raisbeck. All in
motion to
favor?
adjourn, rather.
Motion to adjourn.
Sorry about that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all, have a good meeting. Have a good
That was
night.
quick. Did you get?